What's up, everyone? We are back on another episode of Pound for Pound. I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman,
Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C.
and we have a very, very special guest here today. I know I sound like a broken record because I say that all the time, but truly, anyone that comes on the show to speak with us, I think is a very, very special guest of ours. A man that I have recently had a run-in with. I know because my face still feels it. The always dangerous, a man that was on a 6-fight win streak with 4 finishes. Always dangerous, number 7 ranked welterweight in the world, Mr. How you say his name, Henry?
JOAQUIN Buckley. What's up?
A Shot of Line production.
Now, you ain't got to start doing that now. You know what I'm saying? JOAQUIN Buckley now. But, man, I appreciate y'all. Man, for getting me on the show, bro. Yet again, man, this is one of the biggest fights that I could have had, and you gave me the opportunity, man, to come up here and do my thing, bro. So, like, with that being said, man, I'm just appreciative, man, for having me on. So, let's run it.
All right, well, dude, JOAQUIN Buckley, man, thank you for coming on. I mean, it's not too many times. Obviously, I've lost to Rob. We've had him on, so we're pretty fair, bro. So whether we win or we lose, pound for pound gives that respect, man. Obviously, you and Kamaru, you guys danced last Saturday night, man, which was to me it was a freaking fight, man. Like, you guys did get awarded fight of the night. I mean. Give me
Yeah.
your 2 cents. Give me your 2 cents going in there. 'Cause the biggest thing that I took from you leading into this fight, Buckley, is that you respected this man. When you guys did that little stare down, you said, "Damn, I can't believe I'm fighting the dude that I used to watch." So
Yeah,
give
yeah,
me a little insight, man, on the emotions.
I mean, well, just starting off, man, that dance, it's hard to dance when you're on your back the whole time, right? But I feel like, man, that fight at the end of the day, man, I really feel like, Kamaru Usman, he was the best version of himself that night. And I can't even lie, I was the best version of myself. The only difference is that I didn't execute and then I didn't put out my game plan. A lot of things that I thought I prepared myself for, that wasn't the real fight. The real fight was the magnitude of what I was stepping into, right? Not only just stepping in with the pound for pound and stepping in with the former champ, stepping in with the future Hall of Famer, right? But I'm seeing his brother, Francis Ngannou, somebody that I looked up to, you know what I'm saying? Like, right there watching. A dude that I be jamming to his music all the time, you know what I mean? Just right before the fight, Toby, when he knuckling up with, Kamaru Usman, right? I think the moment we built up, right? I didn't prepare for that, And with that being said, I kind of left myself, mesmerized by the whole situation. And, yet again, I just learned that in my mind, it's just another fight, So regardless if, yet again, I was stepping in there with pound for pound, stepping in with a former champ, stepping in with a future Hall of Fame. I got to treat him like the rest of the guys, you know what I mean? And look at him as just another fighter, But yet again, that's something that I learned. And moving forward, man, that never happened again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Joaquin, it was first and foremost, I want to say, just congratulations for getting to this spot right here because moving from you were a middleweight and you had some success there, and then some a couple of setbacks there, but you come down to welterweight, which a lot of people thought was going to be a tough, very very tough thing for you to do, but you come down to welterweight and you start just knocking these guys off one by one by one by one to where it's extremely hard. I think that there's less than maybe 10 guys that have started their welterweight run with a fight winning streak, and you come in and you run off 6 in a row and 4 finishes, and you put yourself in a position to where, like, I know Bilal has said this before, and that was something that I guess kind of bothered him. Bilal was saying, like, when I was champion, when I was pound for pound, I never looked his way. That's just because you weren't on my radar at the time. You didn't make it there to my radar. But for you, I want to say congratulations because you got to the point where it's like Joaquin Buckley. I'm hearing the name, and
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Yeah, you might have to fight this dude. You might have
Man,
to fight this guy."
hey, man,
And
I
I'm
appreciate that, right? Because what you
yeah,
saying right
and I
there,
want to. And I want to say to
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
too. I want to say to you too. You did everything correctly to get to the place to get this fight, and you did everything correctly to be in the fight, because there was moments, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I just want to let you know, congratulations, because you earned it to get to this spot, and then you did everything correctly in order to get that fight for sure.
No, thank you, man. Thank you. Yet again, that means a lot. Because yet again, the work don't go unnoticed, right? And with a person like you, you didn't done the work, right? You didn't put in the footwork necessary to be where you are exactly. So when I'm looking, you know what I'm saying, to be like, hey man, what Kamaru Usman, he need to give me on pound for pound. You just show me, hey bro, you gotta work. You gotta continue to work, man. You gotta continue to show out. You gotta continue to promote. And I feel like with myself, with the role being so difficult for me to try to get my name out, right? I've always got to come up with creative ways, man, to really kind of push and make sure that people tune in and watch me fight, right? So we're not only just going out there to perform and knock guys out, right? But literally, man, from the content on Instagram, pushing my YouTube channel, right, and making sure that hey, I'm getting the word out every single time to get people excited. And I did a brand new thing as well with our fight where I did an open workout right before then, and it went amazing. I had like 130 people that showed up. It was a free event. You know what I mean, for people to really kind of see the work that I demonstrated. But the unfortunate part, yet again, right, it wasn't the preparation that sucked. It was yet again the execution, man. So I really feel like at the end of the day, I still got a lot to show, and I still got a lot to improve on, and it's only because of you that I know that now, and I'm even more dangerous. So, but thank you for those kind words, though.
Yeah, Buckley. There was there anything that really surprised you? Were you surprised that Kamaru really brought in that wrestling in, and the fact that he was kind of he was kind of spear doubling from the outside a little bit more. Like he was a little further than anything, man. Did that
Yeah.
surprise you a little bit? Did his speed for a 38-year-old man surprise you a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, look, we always complain about him, not having no knees, right? But yeah, like the champ said, man, that's been a problem for a long time. And look, we prepared for it, bro. We knew that, Kamaru Usman is one of the best wrestlers out there. And look, I call them the Booty Warriors, right? The Booty Warriors are taking over right now. You got Bilal, Islam, Sean Brady, and my man Kamaru Usman himself, definitely gonna be out there. But I really feel like the wrestling is always gonna be a threat, right? The wrestling is always gonna be obviously the neutralizer, not just with guys that have good power, but yet again, you don't have you're not a threat if you're on your back the whole time, you know. And that's what I learned that night. And they pulled out an old card, right? They pulled out an old card because I fought one of Henry Hoost's boys back in the day named Logan Storley, right? And I said that day would never happen again when I got held down, and that's why I worked on my wrestling, right? Because I really feel like a lot of people's like, well, Buckley, you don't have great wrestling, but y'all seen what I did against Kobe. So my biggest question is, how were you able to see that even though I out wrestled Kobe, that you could still, take me down and hold me down on my back? That's what I really want to know, so I can make those adjustments now.
Well, I think honestly, I prepared for any kind of fight. I think
Mm.
you get to a certain place, and I think you're almost there. You're well on your way to where you get to a certain place in your career where you're just you prepare for an outline of a fight to where there's not. You know how some fighters go in and say, "Hey, the game plan is just to do this," and then when you're in there and that's not working, they're lost. I think you prepare for an outline, and for me, it was just an outline of I know this dude is going to be strong. He's going to be aggressive, and he can wrestle. I've seen him. He can wrestle. I've seen him shoot a double leg and run a dude across the cage and put him on their back. I've seen him with Kobe. He stuffed the takedown. He got off the cage and he started punishing him. I've seen all those. And so for me, it was just a matter of getting to. I couldn't show you any emotions that you wanted from me,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
You
I
did.
know. And
Yeah,
I could tell all week. I could
yeah.
tell the whole week. That's what I mean. Like you did everything right as it comes to this. Even from, and I'll back it up to you fought Kobe in Tampa. You get done fighting, and I was actually there, but I know how when you're sitting down there on the floor and the event is over, if you don't get to the back immediately, you might be sitting there for another 15, 20 minutes before they clear out some people before they let you go. So as
Right.
soon as the fight was over with, I knew they was calling the fight. I'm like, oh, I gotta go to the back. I gotta go so I can get out of here quickly. As soon as I'm getting out, I'm in the back. They're like, hey, Buckley is calling you out on there. So then they put the video out, and it looked like as
You
soon
trying
as
to
you
get up out
calling
of
me
there?
out,
Yeah.
I was trying to get up out of there. But when I seen
Yeah.
that, I was like, man, this dude is doing everything possible to potentially get this fight, and he might get this fight. So you did it all right. But then you get the fight, and then it's you're doing everything all week. You're saying everything you need to say to try to get the emotions out of me. And
Yeah.
me just wanting to be a veteran and
Yes,
understand
sir.
what's happening, what's coming. I'm like, I can't show him anything because anything right now is going to fuel your confidence. Confidence is a big thing that you need to have in this game. And you have that right now. And that's what makes it very, very scary and very, very dangerous. And that's what I said. Even after this fight, the only thing this fight is going to show you is, hey, I just need to tweak that skill. If I
Yes,
can
sir.
tweak that skill, I'm in there because it's not like I went out there and got my face destroyed. It's not like I went out there and got my jaw broke. It's not like I went out there and got just choked unconscious and I had no idea what was going on. I just need to tweak that skill. And if I tweak that, I'm going to be even more dangerous. And so
Man.
that's what I would say for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. And I'm not gonna lie to you. You didn't react to nothing I was saying on the ground, bro. Like, and I was trying to get that emotional reaction out of you, but yet again, this is more mental than it is anything else. And you knew how to control the whole dynamic, right? Because the only person that was getting frustrated was me, right? And that frustration led me to get away from my confidence, you know. So, like I said before, man, you did a great job, and I truly believe it wasn't that I lost physically, I lost mentally, right? And I feel like that's even more like a bigger challenge, right, to kind of accept. Like I got outsmarted, I got outclassed, you know what I mean? And really, God just showed there was levels to this, right? Because not only myself fighting a pound for pound, but my coach going up against, Trevor Whitman, my brother Edric Dillard, we got our Brick Brother podcast that's coming out pretty soon where he's going to give an explanation on the strategy and what happened. But I also gave an announcement, you know what I mean, is actually out tonight. Anybody can go watch on Joaquin Buckley official channel, Buck What You Heard, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I just had to vent. I had to really give that true explanation on how I felt. But giving the excuses on why I ain't throw more leg kicks or why I didn't stuff the takedowns earlier or why I didn't make the connections of the shots where I should have got the knockout, it don't matter. Motherfucker, I lost. And the only reason why I lost is because your ass was better that night. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I have a question. Where? So I know you. I definitely we've seen your wrestling improved a lot. Where have you been working on your wrestling? Really? Who's your wrestling coach?
No, so Nick Simmons, I was working with him for a good 4 years, if not
Right.
five almost, being up in Michigan. But I moved back home to St. Louis for my kids. And, I don't know if you really kind of went into detail about what you were struggling with. But, 2024, even though it was the highlight of my career, life was kicking my ass. You hear me? So I
Right.
was going through a lot, man, and transitioning. And then, of course, with this, new year in 2025 and then having the biggest fight coming up, we still was dealing with some stuff. But yet again, we don't make no excuses because I tell people all the time, outside the cage, you got chaos, you got, a heartbreak, you got disappointment. But in the octagon is order, right?
Right.
Everything that you work towards and that you want to do, you get to make life fair in that octagon. It's just the only thing about that octagon, it don't lie. And you can't break the rules in that motherfucker, and the laws can't be broken in the octagon, and the best man always wins at the end of the day. So with that being said, man, I just got an opportunity yet again just to realize, that I can get better. But with me coming back to St. Louis and me building a team and me, kind of getting life together right now, I think it's just time for me to slow down because I've been moving too fast, right? You talk about not only just being on a 6 fight, winning streak at the time, which you got the break, right? But look how fast I was able to do that, you know, in almost underneath 2 years. That's really kind of unheard of because all the guys that's on their winning streak been signed for about 4 or 5 years, right? And I got the
Right.
same amount of fights, and I then double that, you know what I'm saying, being that middleweight. So I
Right.
know I can do great things, but I truly believe that, the things that was outside of the octagon, let me clean that up first, and then we're going to be right back in.
Yeah, I think going back to the fight, Joaquin.
Yeah.
Obviously, that fifth round. Obviously, your back was against the wall. Like, what was your perspective, man, on everything? Did you knew that you had to finish Kamaru Usman? Like, what was that thought process? And what were you really? I mean, were you trying to just touch up that chin anywhere to really knock him out, or were you looking for something specific to get rid of him?
Nah, so I mean, be honest with you, it started early where he neutralized me, right? Our game plan at the time was to land early damage on you, fam. But obviously, with it being what I think you took a shot like in the first minute, right? You kept us down. I didn't believe that you could hold me down like that. I'm not gonna lie to you, right? I do a good job of getting back up to my feet. You know what I mean, fighting out of the clinch. But when we were down and you talking about first strike with the elbow, blood leaking. I'm thinking that does more for me because guess what? The more slippery I am, the harder it is to hold me down. You still had good connection, right? Like I said, that's that good old Fleece Johnson. You know what I'm saying? We can do this the easy way or the hard way, nigga. Choice is yours. Choice is yours. But that's what really kind of surprised me that you kept me on the ground, right? But once it got into that second round, I'm still thinking in my head, I'm good, man. We got this next one, right? I'm gonna touch him up this next one. I think I kind of swung out a little bit, and you shot a beautiful double leg, bro. And I ain't gonna lie to you, with you not having no knees is crazy because I mean you launched yourself like Superman, and I fell right. That's crazy. But that whole time, he didn't give me enough time to even do anything, right? So it's not much about thinking about my preparation or thinking about, okay, what do I need to do next? He neutralized all that by keeping me on my back. It wasn't until the fourth and the fifth where I realized, like, bro, I cannot get taken down, right? And then obviously when it came into the fifth round, I had to make that switch. And it's sad because I should have had that in the first round in general, but because of my own arrogance and being memorized, mesmerized in the moment, because I'm thinking like, as soon as I beat you, I was like, it's my time, right? I shouldn't have
Right.
been thinking about that, man. I should have just been thinking about my next meal, bro, right? And that's actually going out there to kill. And that mistake I never make again, because yet again, what you talking about the strategy and him having me up against the cage, he didn't give me time to do nothing. He shut me down.
All right, let's take a quick break to thank our sponsor for this episode, Tastemade.
Both Kamaru and I have been traveling for the past few weeks, and the number one thing I've missed having at home is home cooked meals. Thanks to our partner, Tastemade Plus, they make things incredibly easy to plan, prep, and cook fantastic meals at home.
Henry and I got hooked up with Tastemade Plus, personalized meal planners. That means we get easy to follow step-by-step recipe videos, recommended recipe swaps depending on our diet, and auto-generated grocery lists based on our meal plans. Tastemade Plus is easy to use and allows you to fully customize your meal plan to what makes sense for you.
I've been craving the honey garlic glazed meatball since we cooked it the other night. Tastemade Plus made it so easy to make.
I bet you've been craving those, Henry. But the first thing that I got when I was home was the one pot penne pasta, a nice little cheat meal after weeks of training. Tastemade Plus has changed the game in my kitchen.
If you're looking to take your cooking game to the next level, try Tastemade Plus completely free for 7 days right now at tastemade.com/P4P. As a listener, you'll get 40% off your first year. And guess what? Cancel anytime, no pressure.
That's tastemade.com/P4P for 40% off your first year. Now let's get back to the episode. The one thing that I was extremely impressed with you is how prepared you were as far as your shape. And they say this all the time. It's kind of like a thing that people say with us is, oh man, he got all them big muscles on him. Oh, he can't, he gonna be tired after one round. He got all those big
Right.
muscles. He gonna be tired after one round. What I was extremely impressed with was your shape, because you were extremely dangerous from round 1 to round 5, the start of every round. And especially like you're saying, I was on top. Once I got the takedown, I was on top. There was not one time. I think maybe there was a little bit in the third round
Yeah.
at one point where I might have thought, I'm like, okay, maybe he's getting tired. Maybe he gonna slow down once I let him up, because of course everybody everybody want to see the knockout. They want to see us stand and bang and do all that, and I understand that. And I'm like, okay, that's really what I want to do too. I want to stand and bang, but this man brought a brick to the fight. Like Baby D off of next Friday, he brought a
Yeah.
brick to the fight. I'm like, nah, he the way he's swinging,
Yeah.
nah. Let's go ahead and neutralize him a little bit more. But I was extremely impressed, because even when you were down there, and most people don't know, you were talking, you would say things in the middle of the fight, and I was thinking to myself, is he not tired? Like, am I not doing enough damage to where this guy will stop, or at least start breathing hard? So now I know I can let him up, keep him standing,
Mm,
and try to
mm.
finish him. But every round that started, it was almost like, man, he just basically, the video game life just replenished, and you weren't getting tired. So just talk about a little bit about that preparation with your team,
Yeah.
because most
Yeah.
people
Okay.
think with us, with being muscular, we can't go 5 rounds like that.
Right. Well, yet again, man, for us and what we do, right? A lot of people don't realize how much time it takes to, get into, fight shape ready, right? And condition. And especially if you're trying to go 5 rounds. But just speaking about the preparation, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. This is the best version of myself that came out and was prepared and was ready for war. And I even knew that even at the end of the day, somebody like yourself, regardless if you was on that losing streak, you didn't really lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really didn't get beaten, in my personal opinion, right? So I knew that at the end of the day, I was still fighting another great fighter. But with the preparation, man, we was doing just a lot of road work. We was doing a lot of I like to call body on body connection, man. Just making it hard. So we was working the wrestling, man. We was working, everything that was necessary to get up off the ground and to. But and it's the thing, like I can give people my recipe and what we do, right? But then people were like, well, if you put in all that work, how the fuck it didn't show out in the actual fight, right? And my biggest thing is, no matter what we did in preparation of this fight, it was all mental that I think I did not train, right? I got fatigued mentally in this fight, which is more important, because I can go through each and every workout that we do as a team in a solid foundation, but it really ain't gonna matter, and people will be impressed by the type of exercises that we do and the creative workouts that we put on. Like me and my guy, Darren Weeks, that was helping me out during this fight camp. We was posting certain stuff on Instagram. Not giving everything, but just showing little clips. Right. A lot of people see the creativity that I do within my workouts that can kind of translate into the actual fight. The only problem was, yet again, was the execution. But yeah, I truly believe I got some of the best conditioning past anybody else. But for me, just to be able to see what I was able to do in the fifth round and being able to still push was my biggest reward, right? Because that was always a challenge for me. Because even with the Kobe Covington fight, I let that nigga slide. I ain't gonna lie to you. We could have got Kobe. No, for real, we could have got Kobe up out of there in a second. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was easy work. But I wanted to see for myself, could I go 5 rounds and then get him up out of there later? But yet
Yeah.
again, the doctor had stopped that fight early. The bless his little brain. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't got to lose no brain cells, collect no CTE, and went about his business. But for real though, I believe that my one reward from this fight was able to see what I can do in the fifth round, right? And that's the only round I was able to win on you. That's the only round I was able to get on you. But for me, that's a very important round because that's when guys are the most tired. That's when the guys are the most fatigued. That's the time when guys want to give up and quit. But yet again, it don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. You know what I'm saying? Shit, win is a win for you. So
Yeah. Now, speaking of that, like I want to. There was a video that came out, I guess before the fight, of you trying to get into the arena and the security not letting you in. Talk a little bit
yeah,
about that, which is kind of crazy, because I was we not exactly a similar situation, but
yeah.
something kind of close relatively.
Man, look, I don't know what Buddy was on. You know, my man was taking us down to the State Farm Arena. We was downtown. Now, at first, when he had pulled up to the State Farm Arena, you know, I thought he was finna park, but he just bagged back. He literally bagged back the van and just started circling the building. So I thought we had came there too early. But after a while, like, you know what I'm saying? You know, time just ticking. I'm like, nigga, it's almost 10 o'clock, bro. We got to be in the building. Like, main
Right.
car just started. Like,
Yeah.
nigga, I got to start getting warmed up. I start taking my hand, all this type of shit, right? But,
Right.
you know, once we kind of realized that dude didn't know where he was going or pretended like he didn't know where he was going, you know, we had to call up the UFC and just let them know, like, hey, man, we got an issue, you know what I'm saying? And we trying to figure out what's going on. So they ended up calling dude, you know what I'm saying, and trying to figure out. They said they really couldn't understand dude. I think they said he was like Nigerian or something like that, you know what I'm saying? And he was moving around. That he was talking, but you know, I ain't know if you had one of your cousins on speed dial, nigga. Tell me, hey, circle the building,
Yeah.
circle the building.
Yeah, I told him. I said, yeah, go scoop him up. Yeah, make sure he don't get it. He don't make it.
No, it's all funny games, man. But you know, in all seriousness, man, the UFC really kind of handled business for us, and they got us where we need to be. But no, that was a very strange situation. I don't know if that ever had really happened to anybody else before.
Yeah.
But yet again, a lot of people will use that as an excuse and be like, oh, well, you know, this happened, so I wasn't able to warm up. I wasn't able to, you know, get my hands wrapped in time. I wasn't able to d. Shut up, man, because at the end of the day, once you make it out there to that octagon, don't shit else matter.
Right.
You in
No, it's
control now.
funny.
You in
It's funny
control.
because they picked us up too, and this is why I like driving ourselves. They picked us up too, and they drove us there, and so we driving and we get there, we can see the arena, but we kind of driving around because and the way State Farm the loading dock is kind of positioned, it's kind of weird because it's like in the tunnel you gotta go by the train track, so it look like you going completely the wrong way, but somehow you end up over there on the side. And we were going, and our dude was like pulled into like a dark alley. We was like, yo, where are we at? And then when we start kind of everybody noticing, we kind of like start looking at each other in the van. Then we see him get a radio call on the radio, and they was asking him, yo, where are you at? And I guess probably that's because like your situation was happening. So they radioed him, yo, where are you at? Are you here? And he was like, yeah, I'm looking for the place. So it was, I don't know,
Mm.
maybe it was a transportation company that they used that didn't really know exactly how to get into the loading dock to get us in there. But no, I seen that, and that was, I thought that was surreal, and that was kind of crazy.
Oh, so y'all had the same issue, huh?
Yeah, similar situation.
Okay. Crazy.
No, well, Buckley, he did not just, you obviously you ended your feud with Kamaru Usman. Obviously, you guys laid on the line, which I don't know if you saw
Uh,
my tweet. I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
if you saw my tweet. It says, I'm betting on black tonight. And I
How
got it,
black?
I got it right. I got it right, bro.
How
But
black?
that being
How black?
said,
That's
but
why
that
I'm
being
asking.
said, man, what's
No, before you say that, Henry, I want to say this. Yeah, you're absolute Buckley. Nothing that you said, I had to control my emotions because, like I said, because we were like you and I also were dealing with things outside of the cage that kind of that just lets us know that it's a bigger thing that we're dealing with. Especially so when we go in that cage, it's basically to exercise those demons, I guess.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
but leading up, there was one thing. It was a video. I don't know where the video came from, but people just be sending me stuff. This is why I stay off of social media unless I have to. It was a video of you working out with some training your training partners or coaches maybe, and the video was outside, and obviously y'all were working out in the sun, and you looked like you was tired, and
Yeah.
the dude said something to you. He was like, "Nah, come on, let's go. This is where you get it done. This is where Usman lets up. This is where you get it done." And
Mm,
nothing bothers me leading up to a fight,
mm,
except, but I see and hear things. But it's just that one thing. It's almost every fight now. It's been that
mm.
one thing that pissed me off where I'm like, what? You think I'm what? And I don't know if it was him or somebody said, the training partner said, he's like, yeah, this is where he let off, and this is where you gonna get him. I was like, what? This how y'all think of me? Oh, you think I'm weak? You think I'm soft?
Uh,
Oh, I gotta be honest with you. I don't know. I think it was some dude that probably was in the. I think he was in the UFC before,
yeah, he
but he
was, he
was one
was,
of
he
your.
was. No, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was a trick.
My man Weeks, you know, man. We brought him in
Yeah,
there in preparation for this fight. But no, see, all things are purposeful when you post it, right? And with that being
right.
said, you can always take anything from anything, and you can use that to fuel you. Like when you was posting your videos on YouTube, right? You said one thing, and that's why it removed me from paying attention. And I probably should have paid attention. You was like, "Don't believe everything you hear on the internet," right? So I just stopped watching your videos after that. You know what I'm saying? So we can always take something. No, saying like we can always take
Yeah,
whatever. But regardless, though,
yeah.
like just as fighters, we need something, right? We always need something to just get that extra, you know, that and you proved
Right,
that
right.
that night, right? Let's say he didn't say that, and that wasn't in the back of your mind that somebody said that. I probably could have got your ass. But regardless of that, though, you like, no, I'm finna show y'all who I am. You know,
Yeah,
and you did that
yeah.
night, and I can't do nothing but bow my head and show respect. But I tell people all the time, even though I had, you know, 4 rounds on my back, that one round I showed a glimpse of greatness. That one round, you know, and I'm just privileged that you gave me the opportunity, man, where I'm able to do that. But yeah, these other boys in trouble, you know. But I'm gonna let y'all hold it down. The Booty Warriors are taking over. Like I said again, you know, I'm gonna let you, Islam, you know what I'm saying, and whoever else, man, that's gonna make their way up to that title. Go ahead and do y'all thing. But yeah,
Yeah,
Buck gonna be back real soon before y'all know it.
yeah, but right now you're bringing it up a little bit. But if you're Dana White right now, and you want to see the best competition
Dana
fight
White,
the best competition,
yeah.
you know, like how would you who would you want to see kind of fight, you know, in order to get back to in order to get to that title shot? Obviously, you know, Kamaru wants his title shot. Obviously, he just beat a very dangerous guy like you. But if the
No,
UFC
no,
is
no, no,
not
no, 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 no,
abiding,
no.
man,
Yeah, yeah, I got you. I got you. Usman should be next, man. You got the name. He showed up what he capable of doing. I was killing all these dudes. I was knocking them all out, and he came back and showed why he's a dominant champion and should fight for that title next. He got a big enough name. It'd be a waste for him to try to fight another person and only just give them an opportunity. He already gave the opportunity to me. I fucked it up. Let that man go get his belt back. No, for real. You know what I'm saying?
Not
That's my truth. Because my thing is, if I would have
appreciate
beat
that.
Usman, it's the same
Yeah,
thing. Let me go get my belt, right? And that should
I
be the same
appreciate that.
energy with my man right there.
Facts. Now here's my question to you because me and Henry talked about this a little bit on Sunday. Is looking at you moving forward, and especially with you hit the nail on the head with looking at that fifth round and everything you went through from round 1 to 4, and then still coming out the way you did in the fifth round, and looking at your track record, what you've done to these welterweights so far leading up to this. I'm like, where do you go from here? Who? Because I'm seeing. I'm like, oh, I see stars. I see all these different situations, different fights that are huge fights for you. What do you see for yourself? Who do you think is next for you?
I mean, that's a good question. My thing is just let it be a fun matchup. I see your boy Izzy chirping online. You know, like right
whoa.
now, yeah. I heard him
So
chirping
you
online.
calling Israel Adesanya? Is that what you're doing, Baghdad?
No. He said something about my name. He said something about me. But
No, I
I
saw
really feel
that.
like so hold on because of how the everything is moving, it's gonna take time before that title is gonna be up for grabs again. So my thing is, bro, just get the best matchups I can get, make them fun, and make sure I get this bread up. That's it. You know what I mean? So with that being said, whoever make them numbers go up, that's what I want. That's what I want. You know,
But looking
you
at
got a
looking at
lot
the
of.
rankings,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
who would you say, looking at the rankings right now, who would you say is the best fit for you to have? Because right now that's what back to back main events for you.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
who
I
what
yeah, I
fight?
don't want to move backwards.
Yeah. So
Look,
what
I
fight
mean,
you thinking?
y'all already know, man. Buck versus Cuck, man. That's still a big fight, bro. That's still a big fight, man. We need that. We need that, man. Tremendously. Cause to be honest with you, bro, that's the fight right there that everybody's been asking for. That's what they've been waiting on, you know. And I really felt like, you know, I was gonna be a great opportunity if I fought for a belt. That was gonna be my first little pay per view. You know what I'm saying? That 79.99 was gonna go crazy, but it looked like they getting rid of the pay per views anyway, so it ain't gonna matter. So I really feel
Yeah.
like, you know, that right there can be a great main event. in the near future. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like I said, I got things to focus on outside of the octagon. And once I got that shit handled, oh, it's game time. It's game time. It's over.
Yeah. Well, I got something for you, Buck Dog. What
What's
do you
up?
think? Would you consider going back to 185 pounds and maybe square it off with your
I
boy
mean,
Israel Adesanya?
y'all see these muscles, nigga. Y'all ain't the only one flexing on us. Yeah, we didn't build some thighs now. You know, at first when I was fighting that middleweight, I was walking around 190, and I couldn't get the size up. I couldn't get bigger, no matter what, right? Because my metabolism was just so, crazy. But once I moved down to 170, my body was like, "Nah, we don't like this cut, man. We gotta keep some weight on you." So now we pushing like 210, easily, like what I'm saying, and cutting weight. So now I'm a weight bully, damn near going down to 170. But I feel like it's gonna be a natural transition for me to move back up to 185, especially with my strength and with my power. And now I have cardio and conditioning with it. I think I'm really gonna be an issue at 185. But yet
Yeah, but
again,
what I'm
it's
talking
always
about,
it's
Buckley.
always what's up?
Yeah, but what I'm talking about, Buckley, is seeing the super fight between you and Israel Adesanya.
That's if you want to run it. That's if you
You'd
want to
be
run it.
down? Okay.
No, I
Why would I not? Hold on, hold
Buckley.
on. Why would I not be down? The person that gave
Uh,
that boy the most trouble was Kevin Gasson, dog. Built like a mattress, inside fighter, footwork, a little bit of boxing. That's that nigga kryptonite.
Southpaw
You know,
too.
Southpaw too. You already that's a
bro,
fun
me
fight
and
to make.
Kamaru were fucking going neck to neck on that fight. We're there live, bro. But you're right. You're right, Buckley.
That fight was actually in Atlanta. That fight was
Yeah.
in Atlanta, and we were. I was, of course, I was cheering for Izzy, but it was a tremendous fight. Listen, Buckley, I just want to say, going into this fight, I was very obviously impressed because I was forced to kind of look at the body of everything that you've done so far. I was very impressed with the way that you've been able to bring yourself to this moment, but also with the work that you put in, because a lot of people don't understand that it takes a lot of work to get to the place where people know your name. People know, oh, that's JOAQUIN Buckley. He be knocking dudes out. Yeah, it takes a lot of work. It takes and that work takes a lot away from everything else in life, whether it's
Hmm.
family, because I gotta go do this interview. I gotta go do that one. I gotta go do this to promote. I gotta go do that. I gotta go do this appearance. I gotta go train. I gotta go do all these different things require so much time that pulls you away from everything else. But this is what's required. If you say you want to be great and you say you want to be the best, these are the things that are required. So I just want to say this fight definitely let me see that all the work that you've been putting in. And like I said, I think you are a handful for everybody else in the division.
I appreciate that.
Unfortunately, I just had to do what I had to do. Like I said, I thought we came to fight. This dude brought a brick in his hands. So yeah, we had to pull out the wrestling. We had to use that. But my man,
I see that. Hey, look, I was looking at Mike Beltran like, guard, you gonna help me, nigga? Guard, like, stand us up. But hey, like I said, you had to do what you felt was necessary in order to get your hand raised, and I can never be mad at that. And my thing is too, with a lot of things that you did in that fight, I can also be able to implement into my game. You know what I mean? So you might see Buck become a booty warrior pretty soon too. You know what I'm saying? Taking dudes down, holding them down, and just getting down to the round. But at the end of the day, it's all about winning.
right
It's all about
now,
winning. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that matters. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, I ain't just lose on the record, bro, or on my resume. I lost a check. And I ain't gonna lie to you.
right.
Hunter told me I was gonna make something nice, knocking your ass out, nigga. I was about to say, yeah, yeah, buddy. I was like, nigga, I'm gonna build a gym, nigga. I got a big mansion on the way.
Damn. So Hunter putting
Hey,
bounties on me.
bounty.
Damn, Hunter. Oh, hell
My bad,
nah.
but I ain't trying to put you out there like that. But
Hunter Campbell,
look,
I know.
But but at the end of the day, it was just like, man, it would have been a beautiful situation for me, period. You know what I'm saying? Just to
Of
get that
course.
win. But like I tell people all the time, you know what I mean? This is the beautiful thing about this sport. You know, both people got a dream, you know, but only one person can make theirs come true. Only one person, you know? So you gotta always make sure that your will and your focus is always in tune. Like I said before, I was out thinking about other shit. You was locked into that fight the whole time. while I was talking and yapping, you locked in that fight the whole time. And that's what I learned. That's what I take from that. And like I said, the next dude that I step in there with is gonna be a problem.
Right. Well, my man, I just want to say before we go, one thing to you is, yeah, the fight went the way it went, but um, God always, I'm a spiritual man, you know, and God always says that delay is not denial. So just because it's not right now, that doesn't mean it's not something that's going to happen. So I want you to always remember, understand that, because the way the
Of
work
course.
that you've been putting in, you know, don't let that slip. You know, you still doing work, and I think you're going to do even more work coming in the future. Well, my man, we appreciate you jumping on with us, you know, just to chop it up with us. I know it's big things coming for you in the future. I'm going to be watching because now I'm a fan. You know, like they say, as a man, when you get in there and you exchange fists with another man, you can't help but to respect him at the end of the day. So, you know,
Yep.
big respect for you. And I'm going to be watching your career and following it. And, you know, hopefully see you at the top.
Good man. I appreciate y'all though.
All right, my man, Dan, we appreciate you. We appreciate you hopping on with us. Just lost him. Well, my man, that's Joaquin Buckley. We just lost him, but man, Joaquin, we appreciate you hopping on with us. I'm glad we were able to do this because at the end of the day, after you square off with the mano a mano, you can't help but to respect it, and you have my ultra respect. I'm gonna be watching your career and definitely tuning in. Henry, my man, we just had your boy. What was his name
Joaquin.
again?
Joaquin.
Joaquin Buckley.
I like Buck
Henry,
Dog. I like
yeah, I
Buck
know.
Dog
You
because
know
you
what?
know what? Even though Israel at this sign just said he's fucking annoying, like that, you're still remembering him. He's still making you emotionally involved. Like it's funny, man. Like I'll read some of the like. 'Cause sometimes I got a bunch of. I sometimes get a bunch of texts on it. Ever since I started watching, I used to fucking hate you. They're like Henry, I used to hate the shit out of you, until I started seeing you actually on pound for pound. You know, like you're you, and I'm just, and I'll tell people all the time is, dude, that was my whole plan. I kind of wanted fans and haters. I knew that when I go into a arena and I get booed, that there's something that I did to make you feel that certain way. And whether Floyd's done it, a lot of the greats have done it. Even Mike Tyson at one time, when I would speak to him about it, he's like, listen, Henry. He's like, everybody in the '90s thought that I belonged in prison in a cage. Where I ended up going, everybody was happy. It's not until they had time where they started really to understand the game. And I mean, I'm beloved now. I was a dude that was hated in the '90s, and now people name their fucking kids after me. Fighters name their nicknames after me. It's just like, listen, it's just due time. So I feel like with Buckley, he has he has all the tools. He's himself. He'll do whatever it takes to go out there, and he's on his way to do some good things.
No, I agree. And I got a quick little confession. You know, leading up to this, every time we would talk about Buckley or something like that, every time you would call him, what do you call him? You say, what do you call him? Not his full
Buck
name.
Dog, Joaquin.
Yeah, Buck Dog. Every time you said that, it pissed me off so much on the inside. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold you. You would say that, yeah, I like Buck Dog. And I would just, he's like, man, I'll smack you right now. You said every time leading up to the fight, I was like, oh my God, this dude. But no, you're absolutely right. He is like, that's what I said. Like he did everything right in making sure that I had to see him. You put himself in a position to where I had to pay attention to him because I'm like, oh, UFC's like, yo, you got to fight somebody. Gary's fighting Protez. This dude's fighting somebody else. Brady's fighting Leon. Bilal's fighting JDM. You got to fight someone. And Buckley has already done the poll, did everything. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to fight this dude. And so
Yeah.
he made me respect that. So at the end of the day, yeah, you know, it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but he's doing something that's making you have to see him. And he not just is he doing that, he's going in there when he fights these guys, he's actually putting them away. And like I was extremely impressed with the Covington fight. being able to do that. I understand it was on short notice, but still being able to do that to Kobe with putting the combinations together. Henry, did you see him throwing the combinations at me?
No, I know, bro. And
Jesus.
it was like I told you, bro. I told you, man. He's like a machine gun, bro. He's like one of those, brrrr, like that shit's on full automatic, dude. Like just crazy
Facts.
speed, crazy fast, bro. He's impressive, man. If he's able to really get that wrestling down, Kamaru, especially of what you showed, like we kind of talked about it today. Like when you see somebody get taken down, that's the game plan to do it. But if Buckley really fixes that, Jesus, man, on his feet, he is a threat. If he doesn't get Ian Gary, which that's the fight that I would love to see him fight.
I
If he
agree.
doesn't get Ian Gary, I think the next logical opponent would be maybe Carlos Prates. Priya, priya, priya.
You're right. I mean, young, hungry.
He wants fun fights. Carlos Prates
That's
is a
okay.
fun fighter.
So absolutely no, absolutely. Protest is a fun fighter, but you're talking about someone still making their way up. What about Morales, Michael Morales?
Ooh.
Take
That's
my money
fire, bro.
now. Take my money now.
Yeah,
That
that's
I think those are the fights right there. I would go Ian Gary. I would go Michael Morales. Then I would go Carlos Prates. And I like all those guys. I Morales, I like what he's doing. Prates, you already know how I feel about Prates, and I think those guys they have a hard time with Joaquin Buckley. To stand in front of Joaquin Buckley and he starts swinging, I think those guys are going to have a hard time with him, big time, big time. But no, Henry, I'm just first and foremost, I'm just grateful that I was able to get another opportunity because being off the side being not fighting for 2 years, Henry, it was very difficult to come back because you're thinking of all these different things that could potentially happen. Uh, are you who you say you are? Can you do what you say you can do? You train it, but can you execute it on the night of? So all these different things playing in your head. And then you go out there and actually do it. And that's what lets you know that, yeah, you are who you say you are. Let's turn up now. And so I'm looking to do that for sure. Like I said, I think whoever the winner of that title fight is, I'm looking for that guy. I'm looking for
yeah.
them. Henry, my man, you see how I'm looking right now. You see
I
what
see
I'm
that.
rocking. You see what I'm rocking right now.
No,
You see it?
is this another flick with the Black Panther, bro? Or what is this? What's going on here?
No, it's the Florida Panthers, Henry. Jesus.
Oh
Florida
shoot!
Panthers, we back to back Stanley Cup champions. I mean,
No,
Henry, Florida winning right now. Florida
damn, no way.
winning.
So they
You
won again,
see,
bro, back to back.
yes, back to back. You see me
Shit.
right there with Sir Charles, huh?
Yeah,
You see me with
yeah.
my new man, Corday. Hey, we
That's
did our
what's
thing.
up, dude. Dude,
We
how
did
is?
our
Dude,
thing.
I've been to a hockey game a long time ago, but dude, I mean, the Stanley Cup is the Super Bowl of hockey. How was it, dude? Is it cool?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I've been to a football game, I've been to a basketball game, and it's sometimes you're there, things are happening, you're kind of looking around. A hockey game is probably the closest thing energy wise to a UFC fight.
Wow.
I mean, these dudes are on skates. The puck is flying here, left, right. So it has to keep your attention because it's moving so fast, and they checking each other up against the walls. And of course, if they really want to get buck, they could throw them things. They square up and they throw hands. So I'm really, really grown to really love hockey. And man, shout out to the Florida Panthers, back-to-back champions, for always showing me love and hospitality. Shout out to my man Sean Thornton, and shout out to the NHL too. For showing me love, having me out. I was mic'd up yesterday, Henry. So hopefully that comes out and you hear kind of some of the crap that I was saying. But yeah, the
No,
fan, we was
well,
out
no,
there lit.
damn,
You
that's
see that?
what's up. That's what's up. Look at that
Yeah,
front row
we was
next to the
lit.
ice. That's what's
Yeah.
up.
But Henry,
Damn.
let's
No,
this
no, but
week it's
hold
gotta
on, real quick. Hold on,
yeah.
Kush. I'm actually in Brazil right now, as you know, bro. And I had an opportunity to train with,
What you doing in Brazil?
train
Huh?
with the fighting nerds. Train with Hoofy, Gene Silva. I went out there, taught him a little bit of wrestling. Trained with them today again. Like these dudes, the fight nerds, Kamaru, they're doing a lot of good shit, man. They're really changing
So
the
you're
game
a
on the
traitor.
on strategy and techniques, tactics. I mean, these dudes have a really good coach. So just a big shout out to Pablo, their coach, and Flavio, their head coach, for opening the doors. And we just sat there and we just dissected a lot of energy, man, a lot of techniques, and it's super cool, man.
You're a
So.
traitor. You're a traitor.
So I did ask him, bro. I want to get some of the fighters, bro. They're gonna be in Vegas out next week, so we got to get them on the pod, bro. They're big fans of pound for pound, and we got to get them on, Kush.
For sure, we're gonna get him on because some of those guys are doing amazing things right now. Huffy, off which is John Silva, obviously my dog Carlos Prates, and Kyle Borralho. These guys are doing big things. So for sure, we'd love to get him on. But let's not just bypass the fact that you're a traitor, Henry. You're out
What
there
is?
teaching these scary dudes already. You're teaching them wrestling now too. So now people can't get. So now I see why the Mexicans act the way they act towards you, huh? When you went over to Brazil, huh, Henry?
That's how we
Makes
do.
sense
That's
now.
how we do, bro. If the Mexicans don't accept me,
Use,
Kush, then I'm going straight
yeah,
Brazilian, dude.
yeah. You just go teach them American wrestling now too, so they could come out here and terrorize wrestlers. Oh, okay. I see what
Yeah.
you're doing. But yeah, for sure, we would love to get them on. If we're fans of all those guys and all the things that they're doing. So we see all the good work. But Henry, this week we have another fight night. UFC is in Baku, Azerbaijan. My little brother, Muhammad Usman, the motor, is fighting. So we can't
Oh,
forget that.
oh
Mm-hmm.
shoot. Are you
He's
going?
no, unfortunately, I can't go, man. I can't do it.
Yeah.
That's like how many
That's
days away is that? That's a couple of days away. I can't do that.
that's too long, even for your brother, Kamaru.
No, it's not too long for my brother. I would absolutely 100% go if I wasn't feeling the way that I was feeling right now. I told you I just got
Right.
hit with a brick and then my knees all cut up kind of the ways they are. So yeah,
Hey, right
it
here,
would have
look,
been
just look at me, Kamaru. Dude, it's not too late to jump on that flight. Look at me.
no, no, but yeah, it's a big card, a really really good card, a couple of amazing fights on this card. I was actually kind of surprised. I'm like, man, UFC stacked this card with fights. Of course, my brother Muhammad Usman is fighting. Um, a training partner of mine down there in Denver, Colorado, Muhammad Naimov, of course, is fighting as well. Leading up to just some amazing fights up here. Leading
Yeah,
up to this
hold on, real
main
quick. 'Cause
card.
I have to give a shout out to one of my boys, bro, Nicholas Mota, bro. Mota,
Oh yeah,
he's a
Nicolas.
yeah, Nick, he's a big underdog in this, which is surprising, man. That dude is dedicated, bro. That dude eats, lives, and shits at the freaking PI. Moved to Thailand,
Literally.
doing big things, man. I just want to wish my boy Nicholas Mota the best of
Yeah.
luck, and hopefully he brings back that W, man.
That's a banging fight too. He has a really, really tough fight. So that's a banging one. You also have Curtis Blades on that card as well. That's a fantastic fight. You've got is that Bahum? You've got Ignacio Bahamondes on that card as well, fighting Rafael Faziev. Sheesh.
That fight right there. If Ignacio gets that victory, bro, he's really gonna be stepping on a lot of toes, man. And Ignacio has that style, bro. 6'3", 155 pounds, a lightweight. That's a big kid, man. I'm excited to see if he's able to get past a guy like Rafael Fiziev. Obviously, he fought just in Gaethje last, but if Ignacio get that shit done and get the victory, Kamaru, bro, we may be looking at a future contender.
Absolutely. I think he thrusts himself quickly in title contentions if he wins that fight. But obviously, Faziev is no slouch, is no walk or pushover for anybody. But the fight that we all signed up to see Khalil Rountree Jr. taking on Jamahal Hill. This is such a crazy fight on paper. Both guys like to thump, as I like to say. Both guys like to throw hands. Both guys are southpaw. I mean, this is a fantastic fight, Henry. How do you see this fight going?
Man, man. This fight right here. This is another fight that I'm gonna say I'm gonna bet on black. Uh, and you're right, bro. You did say they're both southpaws. They both pretty much just strike. I mean, the person that has to me, the person that has the more of the danger in their hands, I'd probably say Jamahal Hill, bro. His straights are fucking nasty, man. His straights down the middle, but then when we talk about Khalil Rountree, bro, that dude legit could have had an opportunity to beat Potan, Alex Pereira. He came up a little short, but man, he became a fan favorite because of that fight. You already know I like to rock with Jamahal Hill, dude. But recently too, I did a little. I was teaching Khalil Rountree at the Jackson House that they have out there. I was teaching them some wrestling, man. So at this point, like I told you before, Kamaru, I am putting my money on black.
Nah, I mean that's a wise decision here. Both guys are extremely talented. I think they're both extremely dangerous. I don't know if I would give the power edge to Jamahal Hill. I think they both hit incredibly hard. I think if they both touch you the right way, you're going to sleep. Pause. Uh, but I would say I think Khalil Roundtree might be a little bit more versed with the different strikes. I think he's a little bit more of a threat because he's got elbows, he's got knees, he's got side kicks, he's got he throws kicks and he's got side kicks, he's got oblique kicks. He's got some things that I think are just a little bit more out of the ordinary, while Jamahal Hill will hit you with a straight bomb to your face, and put you out. So I would give Khalil Rountree just a slight edge on that aspect, but I think it's a fantastic fight. I think both guys have talked themselves in a position where they might be a little bit of disdain for each other, so that always makes for a firefight. So I can't wait to see this, Henry. Um, I don't know if I don't want to pick anybody, but Henry, if you want to pick, you know who you going for?
Which one, Jamal? No, I already told you, bro. I'm putting it on black.
Okay. I'm gonna
But
second
but
that.
your
I'm gonna second
analysis your
that.
analysis was very honest because you're right. Khalil Rountree has more tools, but just remember, Kamaro, that small little glove in MMA when Jamahal Hill puts that on. I mean, when
Mm,
Jamahal Hill puts that on, it only takes one shot. If it was just
absolutely.
purely striking Muay Thai, 100% I will go with Khalil. But because it is MMA and that straight does hurt from Jamahal Hill, I mean, it only takes one shot. But honestly, dude, that's up in the air. Um, that's up in the air
I
for me.
agree. Bet on black. I agree. Bet on black. If all else fails, bet on black. But Henry, this week we have a question from a casual. Henry, do you wanna read the question from a casual?
Yeah. So, who's the biggest, craziest, most random person that's reached out to you after one of your fights? Damn. Wow. I had a lot of people reach out. Honestly, I've had Ryan Garcia reach out to me after I beat Dominic Cruz. That's one that really comes to mind. I had Trump Jr. as well. Started following me and sent a message. I had one of my celebrity friends now. His name's Fahujim. He's a Brazilian singer who has sent out a message for me. He's a big Pagoji. It's the music down here which I may hit him up over here when I'm in Rio. So I've had a lot. I mean, obviously a lot of hotties when I was single, but other than that, those are the ones that I could actually remember.
Right. For me, to be honest, there's been a lot of people to where that I watch and I admire their work, to where when I found out that they admired my work and everything that I've done, it was kind of crazy to me too. It was like, oh, I appreciate that. Of course, I have a lot of musician friends. Burner Boy, what you gonna say, Henry? What you gonna
Oh
say?
man, I gotta top you on this one. You're not gonna believe
What?
it, and I
Oh,
totally forgot. Lil Wayne. Little Wayne literally
Really?
called Little Wayne literally called Dana White, and Dana White called me. He's like, "Hey man, guess who wants to meet you?" I'm like, "Who?" I'm like, "Little Wayne." So
Little Wayne?
Little Wayne had me on his podcast. So that's probably number one for me.
Okay, that's a big one. It's a big one. We all are fans of Wayne. Me, I don't know. I would say I don't know. I have a lot of musician friends, Burna Boy, Wizkid, all these, athlete, Toby and Wigway. I would say Shaq called me one time, randomly. I mean, I knew that like I followed Shaq for a while. I knew he followed me, but he called me randomly one time. I think The Rock has hit me. Me and The Rock have DM talked a few times. Uh, some just actors and actresses that I really there's some actually, to be honest with you, there's some from the other side of the world that maybe like 60, 70 million followers that I have no idea who they were. Maybe some Bollywood actors and actresses like will follow me, and I'm like, who is that? So I'm just thankful for this sport that has given us a platform, Henry, to be in the position that we're at, to be admired by so many, and not only to be admired by so many, but to inspire so many. So I'm grateful. I'm thankful as always, Henry. I'm sure you are, especially when Little Wayne hits you up after one of your fights.
Yeah, crazy, right? Crazy, right?
Yeah, crazy. That went over, but that very crazy. But Henry, as always, I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman,
Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C.
and we are out.